Howdy. I'm going to read you a book tonight. It's called The Boy Who Walked Himself Home. Imagine that. The only book, just about the only book I've read. I'm not much of a reader. And somehow I wrote a book. But I want to read you the first chapter of this while I'm out here camping. It's beautiful. I'm out in northern Arizona, up in Flagstaff. And thought I'd sit here and read you guys the first chapter. First, some whiskey. I got this shit on sale. Usually I drink Pendleton because it's pretty smooth on the rocks. But this isn't bad. I took a swig of it earlier. Before I get started, I'll have another swig because reading about my past is not always the most enjoyable thing. It's very therapeutic. If you ever can write a book about your life and then reread that book to yourself over and over, it is healing. It will remind you of where you came from. And it's such a good reminder for me to have. I even listen to the audio every now and then. I narrated this on Spotify and Audible, so if you want to listen to it there, or you can buy the book on Amazon, the paperback. But, just listening to it now, rereading it, I like it. It's a little emotional at times, but hey, let me get a swig of this and we'll get started. I don't need a cup, it's just me. Woo, that'll warm you up. All right. The Boy Who Walked Himself Home, a memoir of breaking, becoming, and remembering by Peter Michelson. Part 1, Before the Breaking. Chapter 1, The Lake, Freedom in the Stillness. The lake didn't want performance. It just wanted me here. And that's what I love about nature. It doesn't ask me to perform. It doesn't ask anything of me. It just wants me here. And that's why I put the tagline on the chapter there. Or I guess it's like a subtitle, subchapter, sub-something. Let's get to the story. The air that morning kissed my skin like a promise, cool, dry, and possibly light. I slid open the patio door of our Arizona townhome, tucked in a quiet Phoenix neighborhood, where the dry air and cacti framed the stillness of the morning. Stepping out into the kind of morning that could make you forget the past, almost. From the second floor, I looked out at the palm trees swaying gently beyond the sleek metal railing. They stood like tall witnesses, sacred in their silence. As a boy in Michigan, I used to draw these trees without ever having seen one. I imagined the shape, their color, and the sound their fronds would make in the warm wind. And now, here they were, and here I was. I moved through my morning routine like muscle memory. At the coffee maker, I filled the reservoir, pressed start, and leaned against the counter. The familiar gurgle and drip of the machine felt like a companion. So many times in life I pressed the restart button, and this morning was another one of those times. Subtle maybe, but real. I glanced out at Camelback Mountain, its red sandstone ridges catching the early light, a silent anchor in the hazy sprawl of Phoenix. Breathed in, breathed out. This was the kind of stillness I used to dream about. My coffee mug, the one from my sister Liz, bright red letters screaming naughty, real naughty, been doing naughty things since 1984, made me laugh quietly to myself. The ritual of creamer and hazelnut sweetener, the small joy of getting it just right, reminded me that healing sometimes can look very ordinary, like coffee in a mug that sees you. The lake had been calling me all week, and that morning I finally answered. I wanted to stay on the lake all day, so I grabbed my Ozark lunch cooler, packed the turkey sandwich I had made the night before, and headed upstairs to get dressed. Clint was still asleep. I smiled at him, grateful for the quiet companionship, even if it wasn't perfect. And some mornings, love looks like not waking someone. In the garage, the desert light poured in as I fumbled with the kayak roof rack on my Ford Focus. The rack never inspired confidence, cheap plastic legs, always a little uncertain. But I double-checked the clamps the way I always did. Out of the two kayaks, the blue one was mine. The blue one was my favorite color. But it was more than that. This kayak, was the last one I could find anywhere in the western region, a rare thing, like the life I was trying to build. Driving just under the speed limit, I made my way toward Apache Lake. a desert reservoir tucked deep in the canyons, a couple hours east of Phoenix. I always drove slow with the kayak strapped to the roof, partly to protect it, partly because going slow gave me time to think. The desert rolled by, saguaros, acatillos, the strange comfort of an open road. Peace lived in my chest now. It used to feel like a foreign object, but these days it was starting to feel like home. Under 2 hours, I pulled up to 3 Mile Wash, my favorite spot. The canyon wrapped itself around the lake like a secret. The water still as glass. No wind today, just silence. I unstrapped the kayak and carried it to the shoreline, picked up my gear, and launched. The moment the kayak touched the water, something in me exhaled. The lake didn't ask anything of me. It didn't want performance or perfection. It just wanted me here. I paddled slowly, deliberately, letting the world fall away. Mid-lake, I stopped and let the kayak drift. Ripples played against the hull, the only sound for miles. Around me, the canyon walls rose in jagged wonder, tan, red, impossibly steep, and green, greener than I'd ever seen them. This year's rain had painted the desert in a lush defiance. Life had found a way. Even the cacti clinging to the sides of the cliff looked like rebels, thriving in places they had no business growing. They really didn't. The acatillos, those whip-like desert dancers, stood frozen in time, yet somehow full of motion, alive. I dipped my hands into the cool, clear water. The silence was almost holy. I whispered to no one, I can't believe I'm here. 2,000 miles away from the cult that raised me, controlled me, and nearly broke me. From everything that tried to shape me into something small. This lake, this freedom, it wasn't a dream. It was now. I looked down at the tattoo on my wrist. This one here. Freedom, written with the M breaking away and flying upward, as if the word itself refused to be contained. I remember when the tattoo artist asked me why I wanted it facing me instead of outward. I told him, it's not for them. It's for me. It's a reminder that I got out and that I didn't die there. See, the book still makes me emotional. Breathing in deeply, I looked up at the canyon walls again, felt the rise in my diaphragm, the fullness of the air in my lungs. I let the exhale come slowly, and with it, a smile. Yeah, I'm free. Thank you for listening. And now for some more whiskey because my damn story still gets to me. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it.